a broader perspective. Emotional Clinic, giving you advice and treatments to your emotional needs. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
It's always nice when I know that you're there to watch this emotional clinic on Beam TV. Remember, this is the segment that we treat your emotional needs, giving solutions to your emotional needs. And today, we want to assess 2019. What are those things that happened in 2019 that we are not proud of, so that we'll not repeat those things in 2020? Especially, I don't know if it is the fact that it's been reported, whether it was there and people did not report it. But we noticed that there was this increase in rape cases in Akwa Ibom State. Let's narrow it down to Akwa Ibom State. What could be the cause of this and other relationship issues in the state? So we want to know the cause and how we can curb this so that it will not, if you don't face it today, you might face it tomorrow. So we'll have relationship coaches, people that are passionate about your home, about how you can have a successful relationship, even in your workplace. They will tell us what they've noticed in 2019 and also propound solutions for 2020. So we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll have Pastor Stanley, Orji, and also Pastor Mrs. Aniebiet, Unwana, Mbede. Am I not blessed to be in the midst of a pastor and Pastor Mrs.? All right, you'll get to know them when we are back from the short break.
Emotional Clinic, giving you advice and treatments to your emotional needs. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
You're welcome back, and many thanks for still being with us on this segment. This is still Emotional Clinic, where we give solutions to emotional needs. And like I told you earlier before we went on that short break, that we have a Pastor Stanley Orji. He is a relationship coach. And also Pastor Mrs. Aniebiet Unwana Mbede. She's been on this segment before. She's been, is she an ambassador of this segment? You can't mention Emotional Clinic without mentioning Pastor Mrs. Aniebiet Unwana Mbede. Thank you so much for coming around. We are assessing 2019, and because I know you're exposed to the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to do with relationship. People come to do with their problems every now and then. What will be your assessment? Because when you have a functional home, you can function anywhere. But when you have a dysfunctional home, you go out and then you want to unleash it on anybody that you see. So what are your observations? What have you noticed so far in 2019?
Is that for me or Pastor Stanley?
No, she
the
regular.
Ladies first, after men.
No, ladies first. Okay, for us, generally, like you mentioned, 2019 was a year where we saw at several times the Nigerian Police Force, Akwa Ibom State Command, came up to say, hey, father raped a daughter and all that. So we noticed a rise in rape cases and other emotional issues on the negative. So we can say maybe they have always been there, but at least they came to the public for us. We got to know more about them in 2019. There's a rise, and if nothing is done, it's expected that in 2020 we're going to have more of them. So I would say that it's just failure in relationship, God-wise and man-wise, God and man, because the bottom of this whole thing is a failed relationship. Somebody is not connected properly to the Maker. The fear of God is lacking, speaking as a pastor now, and then you can see the result out there. And then family values, and then relationships, marriages are failing. You will agree with me too that we have rise in divorce cases. Our job as preachers, and especially the marriage field, is to help reduce the rate of divorce. So generally 2019 we had seen it, and it's a challenge on our part. It's not something we report with excitement. It's a challenge on our part that these things are rising, and God would have us do something about it. We are hoping and positioning ourselves for the challenges ahead in 2020, and we trust God that we're going to reduce it to the barest minimum.
Let's hear from Pastor Mrs. Mbede.
Of course, what Pastor Stanley has observed is very true. Like he said, it's not something we are proud of. Is that we are called to be change breathers. People that will offer knowledge, instruction, guidance, mentorship, to be able to foster a generation that is sane, that is thriving, that is impactful, and can leave a legacy. You find out that it begins with the home. If a child is lacking of love at home, that child is raised by probably a single parent, that what the culture is not a culture of success, but it's a culture of strive and survival. That person will, grow with that mentality. I need to survive, I need to fight, and you see that tendency rubs into the temperament, into the spirit, into the being of that person. Yesterday I watched over the news a girl of 22 lured by her boyfriend and then killed in the process for ritual purposes. Where did it begin? He was telling his story in the police custody that he would really blame it on the parents. There was nothing at home, so he went out to look for money, and then in the process he had to lure. This love relationship turned into
so the first target
was his
to sacrifice this relationship.
Very, very painful. A final year student, getting ready to leave for youth service. So it's a very painful situation we are facing. So what we want to do, would say it's easier to prepare than to repair. We have been on the repair stance for a very long time. We need to prepare people for a future in their love lives. It's not something we should shy away from. It's not something we should just leave to happenstance. Okay, what will be. No, we need to intentionally train, intentionally mentor people to be able to pick telltale signs of relationships that won't work, so you don't get involved in them in the first instance, so that abortion will be on the decrease, having children out of wedlock will be on the decrease, and having loving family relationships will be on the increase. And so we train out people that are sane and better, and then we leave a legacy for them.
Okay, let me stay with you a little more. You said people are more on the repairing side than the preparatory side. Now, what are those things, the basic things that people need to put into consideration before you consider someone to be your life partner? Because it happens there.
Okay, problem of choice. Is this person going where I am going in life? Because you see, divorce is, we've gotten to a point that our journey together is no more necessary. So I think I'm better going further without you. That's the statement in that person's spirit. You try to beg. I mean, we've had situations, life situations.
Assuming someone pretends to go where you are going to, and at the end of the road, the person, or before the end of the road, the person detour. What do you do?
There will always be telltale signs. It's just that when we hear the word
we have
love,
beautiful pretenders around.
see, God will not allow
If they can
you.
successfully pretend and get away with it, means there's something wrong with the person that deceived.
There is something.
There's something wrong.
That you can. You see, the core of our being is the core of truth.
Yes.
There is a spirit in man.
Do we consider it this way? Do you reach your destination before you start considering someone?
No.
The
The person
beginning.
is supposed to be part of your journey through life. I mean, where is the factor of friendship? How long have you known this person? How well have you known this person? Are you driven with other flashy things? Have you checked the character?
content.
Character does not lie. Character doesn't lie. When you see somebody, the person cannot tell the truth in a certain situation. You know that we call it questionable characters. You have to check. But sometimes some people maybe, let me use the word, tripped about other things like, the car he's driving. I tell people anybody can buy a car at any time. And you call it Benin Road here, you come out and start on what is it to the car? The house that he's living. Beyond the house that he's living, what is the house of his spirit like? Okay. Because every man is a spirit that has a soul and dwells in a body. But many times we look at the physical. She's so curvy, she's so beautiful. Is her soul beautiful? Is his soul beautiful? Because a beautiful soul will not destroy another.
Okay, Pastor Stanley, you mentioned divorce. Is divorce a solution to the problem we have now?
Of course, if not, will never be. I just want to add a little to what she said. We look at, we said don't look at the container, look at the content. And then thereafter we said look at the prospects, because the economic realities are there. These young men want to marry, but the money is not there. And so we tell the ladies, don't mind today, mind tomorrow. But there's an addition, not just the prospects, but the patterns.
Yeah.
You must see the patterns of a man. You want to be the David that kills Goliath is the David that had killed a bear and a lion. So before you face Goliath, we need to see the patterns. So young woman, find out the patterns. He can't just wake up and become a saint overnight. What has he been doing? Now, I speak as a man. We spend so much time and energy and resources training our body and even our spirits, for those of us in the church. But little time is given to the emotions. We don't empower the emotions of a man. And the 21st century man, there is a redefinition, if you ask me. Because anybody can have money. Somebody said some people are so poor that all they have is money. There has to be more. We are not paying attention to the emotions. So the well-rounded man of the 21st century is the man that is spiritually strong, emotionally intelligent, physically attractive, intellectually sound, and all that has to count. And then you grow in it.
We can't end the segment without talking about this disturbing issue of rape. Not just rape, maybe uncle rape. We want to talk about the father raping a child, a daughter. It's on the increase. First, we want to know, what is the cause of this? Okay. How can a father be attracted to his own daughter?
Some of these fathers, these girls were not raised under them.
Some are raised under them. I have had cases where children come to me, walk up to me and say, I can't contend this. In the same roof, my father is trying to sleep with me. And the first question I ask, where is your mother? The mother can't do anything. The mother is trying to protect the marriage. Doesn't want to lose the marriage.
She doesn't even have a marriage. That's what she doesn't know.
Well, we have encountered a lot of that as a pastor. I have had to speak to some of these young girls, and I want to use this opportunity to speak to those girls and to say God is with you. God hasn't abandoned you. If your earthly father has failed, please know that there is a heavenly father who can take care of you. If you're going through any pain, please know that there are living churches that you can walk up to and get succor once again. But you see, there is this onslaught against the male, the man in the society today. Have you seen the high rise in the demand for sexual libido? This sex enhancers. It's everywhere on the streets. It shows you people want to, and then the man, the nudity out there.
It's a season.
Yes, it's the devil's thing. It's an onslaught. It's a plot.
The devil is blowing the trumpet.
Yes, it's everywhere. The TV, there is no advert that is not nudity. Everything. So
I'll beg to differ, because if you are talking about nudity being the cause for the,
it's contributing. It's contributing.
I would think it's, number one, lack of knowledge. Number two, lack of, like you said, a connection with your creator. See, people don't even know what to do and what not to do anymore. The values are so down there that, I mean, it's just like anyone is okay, doesn't anything goes. So first of all, I think we should empower the minds of men and women and children. Mothers should teach and fathers should teach their children things that are not appropriate, so that when that child gets to that point in time, the child will be able to rebel against what should be rebelled against. And then another thing is building a friendship with your children. You know, it's not those times that when you hear your father's car horn, you dash, into wherever and pretend that everything is okay. Build a relationship that your children can come to you and connect with you at a very deep level, that they can share their life's issues with you without any fear of being condemned, okay?
The entire sex thing is just getting out of hand. And I'm saying there is a bombardment of the male mind. Yeah. I go to the barber shop, for instance, to cut my hair. From the first minute to the last minute, the video played there, erotic scenes. My little children are there. Now I have a negotiation with my barber. Once they walk in there, turn the channel. But I see innocent children littered everywhere. Some are teenagers. And what are they watching? In the name of music, since you go to the public place, I had to tell them, turn off the radio. It's children's section. But the kind of music, people can't listen to decent music these days. Advert, the same thing. Then there are nude girls on the streets. This is an onslaught to bombard the male mind. that the person he vents on eventually is not the person that caused the problem. He picked it up somewhere. Then when the devil rises, there is no other person. The only available person is his little innocent girl, and he unleashes. Not that he doesn't know the consequence, but this man has already lost it. So we have to work holistically. Those in churches should begin to preach not just fire, empower men emotionally, like I said. Schools also empower people emotionally. Parents, teach your children and all that. There has to be empowerment so that we can counter the onslaught that the devil is out there working against the male. It's just too much.
Okay, let's look for practical solutions to it. I will ask you the same question I was asked. You're living in the same house with your father, and your father is trying to abuse you. Your mother is there, can't say anything. What should you do as the daughter?
Your destiny is at stake. Leave the house if you must.
To where?
You have relatives. You have a church. If you don't have, you have police station. No, you have a police. This is destiny we're talking about. What you must know is that the sin of you sleeping with your father is bigger than any threat that that man. Now, evil thrives in secrecy. One slap on that father, he will know that he's not a father. I tell the guy, take up the mortar, hit his head. When he goes to the hospital, when they ask him what happened, he will know that he's a father. We tell the same thing to girls who a pastor wants to sleep. You know, it's even difficult. Girls can't come to counseling with pastors. If your pastor is coming after you, slap him. You are not offending the man of God. You are helping him. When the slap comes, we now know who is the man of God.
They will preach to you, touch not my anointed. And do
no, at that point, the anointing needs some rerouting. So if the girl notices that kind of thing, leave that house. That is a crime scene. That's a danger spot. Leave that place. Report to anywhere. Go to the police station. Let the help start from there. He will thank you after them.
Like you've said, if you have a faulty home, it will reflect in every area of your life. So what should people put on check as we are starting this new year?
Okay, as a person, this principle has really helped, and a few people have tried to talk to and mentor them in this direction. I've found out that it works. 70% to 75% of your success in your marriage or in your love relationship, it borders on the area of choice. Okay. Because sometimes we find very good people get into very wrong relationships.
Not as you are talking about choice, now it's for people that are about to make the choice. What of those people that have already made the choice?
If you have made the choice, my pastor will say the grace of the Lord be upon you.
So there's no solution for those people. No,
God is there.
God is
there.
Patience comes in,
God is there. God can
patience,
your blood.
love, long suffering. You know.
Get counseling. Get counseling.
Yes,
get counseling.
That's why I said it is easier to prepare than to repair. See that repair, you have to patch it, make it work, arrange yourself. Where should be if you can. Try your best to move it. Some people even for the sake of children, all the balances you need on earth to help you. But just make sure that you keep, the love has to be over those flowing. We don't need any more broken homes. Okay. Yes.
All right, Pastor Stanley.
For me, I would say holistically, like I said, pastors begin to preach about emotions. When men hear it, they will. For any man who rapes his daughter, I think there's something wrong with his wife. If he has sufficient love of his wife and then the comfort of his wife and the bed is warm, I don't think he will look after his daughter. I think, let me say this as I wrap up. There are the tanks, emotional tanks people parade on the streets are empty. We are living in a virtual world of phones.
Yeah.
People don't get hugs, people don't get kisses and sincere compliments. Every one of us are shutting into our phones and it's telling out there. Let's break the walls and connect with people. People are talking, we are not connecting.
We are close to people from afar, and then people.
Yes.
We send WhatsApp messages.
You have likes, 1,000 likes who you don't even know. But the ones around you, you don't like them. So let's break the walls and have reconnection. Let people feel our touches and our hugs and our warmth. Let children connect. Once there's connection.
Hugs and kisses on the streets.
No. Family. It will increase the bond. When the connection is there, these vices will reduce. People are naked. Emotional tanks are really, really empty. For those of us who are well, let us fill up the emotional tanks. Husband, fill up your wife's emotional tank. Wife, do same to your husband. Children to your parents, parents to your children.
Thank you very much, Pastor Stanley. Thank you very much, Pastor Aniebiet, Unwana, Mbede, for always making our time to be with us on this segment. And trust me, issue about relationship, we can't exhaust it. So we are going to talk about another issue next time you're invited here. Until then, I still say thank you. All right, and to you, thank you so much. And I believe you've heard what these two coaches have said, that you have to always and always be prepared for what? Be prepared not to repair.
Yeah.
So prepare so you can avoid repairs. That repair might not be funny at all, might not be funny. So thank you very much for being part of this segment. We are going to bring you another exciting edition on how you can handle your emotional needs. Until then, my name is still Blessing Ambrose, but I'm very fine. If you call me Auntie V, that's when I know that you're my friend and you're smiling at me, I can smile back at you.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.